Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
And we are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we are watching Attack on Titan, Season 1, Episode 19. Last episode, I guess, it seems like everybody's kind of getting into place for something.
Yeah, something's about to happen.
We're thinking that it's Commander Erwin's plan, based off of, like, the weird energy Levi was giving off to the rest of his squad when they were like, are we not going to fight this thing right here and now? As well as all the context clues, I think, that, like, were given throughout the episode. Like, we saw Erwin go into the tree line first, right? We know that he was there before anybody else.
Yes.
As well as, Mikasa, Jean, Armin. Like, we're all kind of guarding the forest at the moment. We're surrounding it.
And it's clear that, like, a bunch of other kind of heads of their squads weren't really sure what to do. Like, Sasha isn't with the rest of them right now because she was going around with whoever was in charge of her. So it's clear that, like, even the kind of people that are higher up in charge of our group of newcomers don't know what is happening. They don't know what to do now. Even John was kind of poking at, what did he say about the man? Like, he better be careful that someone doesn't come stab him from behind back kind of thing.
Something. Like it was like a joke, but it was like all jokes, like 60-40, like 60% joke, 40% reality. I thought percentages may differ. Last episode, though, we did get that like chilling scene of the female Titan, who nobody knows who it is, swinging around.
Oh, like, I hated that. It was the like pinwheel. Like, that was brutal. Horrible.
Like, I thought like I was getting a little desensitized. Like, what, 19 episodes in, 18 episodes in, to Titans killing humans,
giant teeth and
and then we saw that, and I was put in my place.
Horror.
But I don't know. We met Buckwald, right? The horse. He was pretty cool. I like him. Yeah.
Krista is a goddess.
Krista's a goddess.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to marry her.
Everyone wants to marry her.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like we were definitely on a build-up of something.
Yeah, I really do feel like that is the case. I mean, everyone is filled with such, like, intense anxiety right now.
Yeah.
Especially the members of Levi's squad, with no clue why they're basically in the line of being trampled by the female Titan and are not being told to move out of the way.
It totally seems like the scouts have known about the female Titan.
That's like what I'm operating with right now, is that they knew of the female Titan's existence.
At least Erwin.
It just seems to that, or they're used to other abnormals that are as kind of intelligent as the female Titan. I'm not really, it doesn't seem like they're totally caught off guard though. At least Erwin, maybe even Levi. I can't tell if, like, Levi is just really good at masking his
following orders,
anxieties, or if he knows what's happening, or at least knows what he's supposed to be doing in this situation.
Well, from my understanding, Erwin had no idea that the female Titan attacked yet before he went forward with this plan. Like, it came across to me as, like, this was the plan all along, before they even left. That, like, this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
But we did say that if the female Titan is who we think it is, wouldn't that be difficult for them to have seen the female Titan before?
Yeah. If it was Annie, yeah. That's true. I don't know. Not sure. It could be, like, another abnormal, like you said, that just had some sort of intelligence. But I don't know. I'm ready to get into it. I'm ready to see what happens. I don't know if it's like the troops rally together kind of thing. Or we thought maybe it's going to be like, all right, Aaron, show us what you got. And, like, try to, like, let him out in the middle of the woods. But it does seem the perfect place to utilize the ODM gear. So, I don't know.
I know. Like, why, if you wanted Aaron to be, like, the one taking control right now, why would you lead into the forest?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the only way reason would be to keep any other Titans from kind of joining the fight. Because if you can have the ODM gear secure the outside perimeter of the forest,
That's true.
I guess that's my only reason why this location would be good for a Titan fight.
And then if you're backing your Titan up, like Aaron's Titan, it'd be the best place to do it, right?
Yeah,
If
for
it's like-
support.
Yeah.
Like kind of how they had to support him for moving the boulder.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm ready to get into it, yeah.
Yes.
Sweet. It'll only be for a second. The sound. Reinforcements came and then went.
And it was just so hard hearing them say captain again and again to try to get Levi to say something.
I just don't understand why they couldn't know. Maybe fear of a leak or something. I don't know.
Maybe they would operate better not knowing for some reason.
That's why we came to this forest.
Oh yeah, doesn't
Yep.
he sets off a flare?
Yep.
And we were wondering what color,
color
it
it
was, but it
was.
didn't show us. He didn't cover his ears.
We still didn't see what color it was.
We've seen them fire them by and never cover their ears, right? Is this like a special one?
That's... You're right. I don't think they've covered their ears before when they
No,
fired
I don't
them.
think I noticed that happening.
And it seemed like they reacted to the sound of the flare.
Yeah. Is it one that's like both sound and color?
I wonder if sound could defeat Titans in some way.
Bite. Is this like a vampire situation?
A noise grenade.
Our squad's job.
Wow. To protect him.
Oh my god.
Do you think it's a test to see if Aaron will, like, do anything about it?
Will he go against?
Yeah. Oh.
He decided. Is that what bite means? The title is bite.
He shouldn't, though,
He
right?
shouldn't. Unless this is like what they wanted. It could put them in danger too if he can't
Yeah.
control it.
He's a real monster.
He will never submit to anyone.
Is it like a reverse psychology
I
thing?
don't know.
It seems genuine at the same time.
No one ever knows how it'll turn out.
Wow.
Dang. Have faith. What?
Ugh. I mean, that's so true, though. Like, they do have the overall understanding that Eren is the most important thing to happen to humanity ever, right?
It's a good location. I agree. So we're gonna be practicing. I can't believe I didn't think that he would have been practicing this whole time to control it.
Where are you gonna do it? Nothing?
Is it like only when he's in danger that he can do it? Like
He
when
said,
like someone's about to attack
he said
him?
self-inflicted injury, and
Yeah.
like, he didn't even know how he knew that, so I wouldn't think it's just when he's in danger. Jesus Christ. Do you think it's a stamina thing?
I don't know. He seems pretty well rested now. Or
The
do you mean
wounds
when
on
it's
his
the boot?
hands won't heal.
Why is everyone so calm? Are they glad he can't do it?
Probably in some instance. Jesus Christ.
A spoon?
It was just like, and you saw the spark of
There
lightning,
was,
right?
Yeah, lightning. Is this? But that's
Was
a
it-
spine. I'm confused.
It looked like it was just his arm. It was like mainly his arm. He's talking to them. I mean, you're so used to killing Titans, right? You're faced with that every day. I'm sure the sight of it, you're freaked out. And knowing that he didn't control it.
I mean, that's probably the scariest part is he told them that the only way that he switched was by self-inflicted injury. That's all they're going off
Gives
of.
us the color of the smoke rounds. I'm so confused, though. Eren literally said self-inflicted injury. Oh, God, Hachi. Look at how small it is. My intuition.
You're freaking him out.
Thanks for lightening the mood, Hanji. Without the skin. Is he healed now, you think? Yeah.
And now it's gonna disappear.
Mm-hmm. It had the control to pick up the spoon.
Something so tiny.
I have so many
Probably
questions.
terrified.
Why then?
Such weird tension.
It wasn't to protect him.
They were really actually like scared.
Oh.
I mean, really, they were told that it could only happen by self-inflicted
Yeah.
injury. So
Mm-hmm.
生きて帰って初めて一人前ってのが兵団の通説だが、いくら考えたって何一つわからない状況が多すぎる。ならば努めるべきは迅速な行動と最悪を想定した非常な決断。
I like that.
Assuming worst case.
血も涙も失ったわけでもない。お前に刃を向けることに何も感じないってわけにはいかんだろう。
They didn't just straight up attack. They were begging him to give them a reason not to.
クソでも長引いたか。
そんなことないよ。改善だった。上の説、これを見てくれ。
A spoon.
スプーンですか。
The spoon.
しかもなぜか熱や圧力による変形は見られない。
Very true.
思うことはない？
確かそれを拾おうとして。
今回巨人化できなかった理由はそこにあるのかも。
There needs to be reason?
But it wasn't.
砲弾を防ぐ。あげる。
There needs to be a mission?
状況も
A clear
Clear
goal.
goal before you transform.
敵があった。
Didn't he have a clear goal to try to get out of the well, though? Or try to transform?
根になってるわけではなくて。
Isn't the soul trigger?
スプーンを拾うために巨人になるの。何なんだこれは。
So it doesn't matter when the injury that self-inflicted is, right?
お前が意図的に許可を破ったわけではないんだな。はい。
What are they doing?
何やってんですか。
Is it like atonement for...
That, like, went straight to my heart.
And they all had this in an agreement about it?
だからなんだって話だがな。お前を抑えるのが俺たちの仕事だ。
ごめんね、エレン。私たちってビクビクしてて。
Rightfully so, though.
それでも私たちはあなたを頼るし、私たちを頼ってほしい。
That's awesome. This is a great scene. And it mirrors back exactly to what Petra just said, right?
Have faith in us.
Yes!
Oh, and a music? Oh, and she has the bite mark still.
Oh, shit.
I'm so nervous.
They have to still have a plan.
I know. It really will stomp on them. He's really not turned around.
So fucking close. Yes! Oh, I love a good trap.
Levi even looked confused. Or shocked.
Erwin!
Erwin!
Holy shit!
Oh, come on, they knew! They knew about the female type.
They had to.
How could you have something so elaborate set up? Like, come on.
So powerful.
I know.
That's not just for a Titan. That they knew she was after Eren. Go hide Eren then. They knew of her and they knew she was after Eren.
Did they also think it's like Eren?
I think so. Because didn't Armin assume that Erwin knew what he knew?
But they all still look like scared at the same time.
Armin assumed that Erwin knew what he knew. That there's a person in the back of the Titan. I think they're going to try to cut it out. Able to see who's inside this thing.
So when Levi said he knew how to get Eren out, he was also planning how to get
Definitely.
someone out of the female Titan.
Whew. I have to say that whole flashback sequence that ended in the bite scene, like, moved me, dude. Right when like the music kicked in and they all bit their own hands, I was like, that's beautiful, dude. I was scared that like there was gonna be that looseness, but they actually have like a tight team. Like everybody's human. You can't blame. I wouldn't blame them for 1 second for reacting how they did against Eren.
It's interesting to me that it seemed like before that, those flashback scenes of the training, that it seemed like all of Squad Levi was just very patient, very trusting, and very kind of accepting towards Eren.
Yeah.
And then we learned that there was that tension, and they were just kind of waiting, kind of wondering if something was going to happen.
Yeah.
And they didn't have that trust for him until after that scene. And that's how we get to the point where they're so willing to be beside him and trusting him.
Yeah. It was so well done.
And there's such... Levi even said none of them are heartless. No matter how much they have experienced and fought, and the people that have died around them, and the choices they've had to make to possibly abandon people.
To make ruthless decisions by assuming the worst case scenario. That is such a good way to put it. Like that's
becoming heartless.
Yeah, that like how I saw when they were all like explain yourself, you know, like against him. I wasn't like, oh, they're looking for a reason to kill him.
Yeah.
It's the complete opposite.
Right.
They were looking for a reason not to kill him.
Yeah,
Like
Levi said that it hurt them to do that.
Yeah. God, that was so good. Okay. How the fuck does this work, man? So we knew before, obviously through Eren, all we knew was that he could become a Titan through self-inflicted injury, and then said, how do I know that, right? And then it's not just self-inflicted injury. There's another stipulation.
A goal.
There's a clear goal as well as self-inflicted injury.
Pick up that spoon.
It doesn't seem like it matters when the self-inflicted injury is, right?
I guess he just needs to be bleeding in
Or
some
in
capacity.
pain.
Bleeding or in pain.
Yeah. And it needs to be self-inflicted.
And it was self-inflicted, whatever the bleeding and pain is from.
Yeah. And then
I feel like it's specifically blood, though.
it probably is.
Because if he like purposefully like broke his finger, I don't know if that would. I feel like it's the blood. For some reason, I feel like he needs to bite down hard enough that it's really an injury.
Okay, this is it, right? When it's prepared, I'll use a smoke ground to notify you. After that, any decisions are up to you. That's a clear-cut way. Like, in my mind, I was like, well, that doesn't really make sense because it was a clear goal for him to he was told to turn into a Titan to, like, inside this well. But here, how Hanji puts it, he's like, any decisions are up to you. So he hasn't, thought through a clear goal. He's just like, all right, well, you know, like, he assumes, I guess, what he should do.
It seems
and then
like
he doubts himself.
Yeah, it seems like instead of thinking about the fact that he needed to turn into a Titan, and it was more just like, I need to bite myself and make everyone happy or whatever. It wasn't like a set
and like the doubt
goal.
of if I lose control,
yeah,
they might kill me.
Like, why would he want to transform if he's thinking about how people are gonna kill him?
Very true.
Like, subconsciously, you're gonna keep yourself from doing the thing that you're scared of people killing you for.
So is it a ticking time bomb in a sense then? Like, after you're self-inflicted, unless, like, because it's like the next clear goal you have, are you...
Oh, do you mean like no matter what, if you get a self-inflicted injury, eventually you're going to have to transform? Is that what you're wondering? Like, ticking time bomb? Like, is it only...
I'm not like, oh, that's an actual theory kind of thing, but like, that's like that's like a train of thought that I'm on right now, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, because it was literally the next clear thought it seemed that he had. And then my biggest thing right here, he touched it. He's holding the spoon. And then the Titan's holding the spoon.
It's like, wouldn't he have turned into the arm purely to grab the spoon? But it's like delayed.
That's what I thought it was gonna be. And then I was like, oh, okay. So he was like reaching for it and then he turned into it. But they made it very clear that he was already holding on to it. And then it like...
So what was his goal at that point? To keep eating?
Also, the fact... Let's just so I'm sure... When he's holding the spoon, is everything just flesh, or is it
The fingertips? I think it's all pink. It's all like ready and
I'm trying to see like right where the spoon is. Is that flesh or
it
skin?
looks like that's still red.
Yeah. So that's crazy that that's not hot though.
Yeah,
that's
so
not
like
deformed.
How can he regulate how hot? Or was there really a secret in that fingertip part that touched
Like
the
a little
spoon
bit of
was
skin?
A little bit of skin.
It would kind of make sense if there was a little bit of skin, because then it's like it kind of goes along with a clear goal, right? Your clear goal is to pick up the spoon and use it for something. So like
you wouldn't want to
burn it
or
like,
warp it.
Yeah.
I guess it makes a lot of sense now why when the Colossal Titan shows up, it's a lot of steam. It's because the Colossal Titan's all like fleshy underneath the skin instead of skin. And so of course it would be very, very hot.
So this kind of like I'm in my mind, since we started the series, I've been trying to figure out like imagine if I was animating Eren becoming a Titan with like all of the answers that we have so far, what would it be like? And before this episode, I think my best guess was like just things would like I guess like all this like muscle fibery thing, and the Titan would form around him like a like floaty kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But now it seems like it comes from his like fingertips, or like comes from his skin and goes outward. Like if I'm trying to imagine how he stayed holding onto that spoon, the only thing that makes sense is if like he was holding onto the spoon and then it formed like around it and stayed holding onto the spoon. You know what I mean? Like a flower sprouting or something.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I also thought like it was a very small Titan. Incredibly small. And it literally only formed around the part that pertained to his goal.
So interesting. His hand is stuck in the shoulder.
Yeah.
I guess because then his other hand would go to the other shoulder, and then he's inside the body. Okay, so it makes sense for where he would be located.
Yeah.
Within like the Titan. Interesting.
So like what? So why I'm like I feel like there's like a little piece of skin right where he's holding the spoon is like. It seems like it would gradually get weaker from the goal, right? And on the right side, like our right, his left of the Titan
It's
body,
all bone.
no skin, just bone. So I would assume that as it gets closer to the goal, it would become like the strongest, right?
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
It's really interesting. I really like our team, dude. Hanji's like always like breaking up tense moments. I appreciate it. Oh, I love a good booby trap, dude. Like Pokemon days when like you like cover up like a hole with like leaves. Like this is so cool. This is like an ambush.
And they knew. They knew what the goal was. I wrote down Levi didn't just come up with this technique of how to not kill Eren purely for Eren's sake. Obviously, Levi came up with it probably purely for the idea of figuring out who was inside the female Titan, but then also realized it could help out with Eren.
Yeah, I am with you, and that's a good observation.
When I watched it, I was like, "Oh, Levi's thinking of ways to not just have to kill Eren." Aw, And now I'm like, "Oh."
Maybe instead of skin, it was bone that was around the spoon. I'm looking at the female Titan, and she has like bony looking fingertips.
But then how did Reiner cut through them if they were bone?
Man, I don't know how people do what they do, but I'm saying that because her kind of main goal seemingly here is to remove people's hoods, like try to find Eren. She did it to Armin. If it was really hot, then I'm sure that would have made it more difficult to do. Maybe like her clear goal was to find Aaron and try to, like, it's very well thought out in that mindset. They definitely knew of the female Titan before, right?
Completely. Enough to construct these weapons and have them stationed in a certain location.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that, like,
I don't think Levi knew.
because in this flash right here, doesn't he also look like a little bit wide-eyed?
He definitely looks a little bit
Like,
wide-eyed.
he's still looking forward, but he's also looks a little bit like, oh my god.
I'm
was
trying
that
to
what this
figure
is
out
about?
what he knew. Like, did he know that there was an ambush at some point and not where? Or was he just told, just take Aaron, protect him at all costs, go forward to the forest. That's it.
He at least knew enough that once this happened, he should go meet back up with Erwin
That's
and
true.
figure out who was inside.
Very true.
So it's like he knew broadly, maybe, but
love
not
how
exactly.
Erwin's
I
drawn.
like your idea of saying he didn't know exactly when the plan was going to happen and where.
Gotcha. Yeah, Erwin's a paranoid man. Or he just knows that there are people that he cannot fucking trust. Which would, if the female Titan is Annie, then that kind of makes sense.
There was a complete reason that he told whoever or no one that he did.
So
And all of them are aware of that. All of Squad Levi is like, this was very purposeful.
Did you get weird vibes from the interaction between Levi and Erwin?
A little bit.
Like, not like crazy, and I'm probably just fishing here, but like when Levi was explaining that, like, this came at the, like, thankful.
At the cost.
Yeah, at the cost, but like, thanks to these people, thanks to the rear guard squads who died, they bought us the time we needed. We couldn't have done it without them. Erwin's like, is that so? Like, it's like,
I just thought of something.
it's like, okay, you can go on in a second. It's to me, real quick, it was just like, oh yeah, like it's a dispensable thing to him, and he's still focused on, like, the main objective. What do you think?
It brings me back to Levi saying that he picked his squad because they hadn't become heartless.
What do you mean?
What if Erwin became commander because he already became heartless? And he doesn't get emotionally affected by the loss of troops anymore. And so he's able to make clear decisions for the sake of humanity or the goal without being swayed by his empathy or sympathy. And
I think that's a good guess. I wouldn't think, I don't know, Levi, I don't think he's not like, oh my god, like, these people died, it was horrible.
Right.
He's like acknowledging the facts of the matter and giving people the appropriate credit. I would hope that Commander Erwin's like that too. Like, you're able to acknowledge when people, like, it literally seems like he's just kind of brushing over. You could acknowledge what they did and then be motivated about what you're still doing.
yeah,
It just comes off as a little weird that he's like, is that so? It's like,
it doesn't even seem to faze him. His eyes don't even change.
it
He's,
doesn't
like,
even
so
seem like they're
focused.
pawns. It seems like they're less than pawns. Like, they're just dispensable. I mean, it's what's expected, I guess, right? They knew that people were going to die. Thanks to them, we'll be able to see it. Dude, female Titan / Annie is freaked out.
They really have her pinned. Like, gosh. I was worried that this plan wasn't going to actually work, but they clearly have seen the body form before and thought of a way to properly deal with it since they couldn't cut through her. And so they literally pinned her in a bunch of different ways with, like, needles almost. Like, sewing her into place.
It's like what we used for Sonny and Bean, right?
Yeah, it is kind of like the Sonny and Bean. Like, how they were nailed with a bunch of...
Just, this seems like a lot more intensive. Do you think we win here? Like, we actually are able
to remove...
She's still blocking the back of her neck.
I just feel like it's meant to make us think that we're about to find out who's in there, but for some reason I'm like, I don't know. What if something else shows up? Like, the Colossal and Armored haven't shown up in a while, but if they're in the same, like, league of being super different and leading the charge of other Titans, like, obviously a bunch of Titans were following the female Titan.
An army was the quote, but we didn't know why.
So what if they show up to, like, disrupt this?
We have perimeter.
We do have perimeter, but obviously Colossal Titan just kind of lightning
I don't see
somewhere.
So I don't see the Colossal or Armored showing up because I'm kind of in this mindset now where I put them in a different category than the female Titan. Now I'm thinking that, like, if there are even more Titans, humans that can turn into Titans beside the female Titan, but like if that's Annie, for example, I don't think that necessarily means she knows or is linked up with the Colossal or Armored Titan. I think that she could have her own motive and her own motivation in a sense.
I wouldn't be surprised if she has her own kind of reason for doing this that it is personal and not just orders. And or, I mean, it could be orders, but they could be very personal because who's giving her the orders is like someone personally, like she personally trusts and or wants to do things for.
Dude.
But it does look like she feels trapped and
She
cornered
looks scared,
and
yeah.
screwed.
She looks screwed. Like, she looks like she's like, how am I going to get out of this?
Like, oh shit, I lost.
And just...
And that's
going
what makes me think that something weird's gonna happen. Something funky is gonna happen.
Or she just kind of powers up.
Powers up.
Okay, here's a
disappears
question.
somehow.
Do you think if she, like, gets out of there, do you think Levi could take her?
Well, Levi has such confidence that he could take
Eren.
Eren. So I guess that depends where Eren stacks up next to the female Titan.
So I'm just going to write it down since we have it. In the mid-roll, signal color is red, Titan sighted.
Green is where, and then they all were moving
Change
in the
course.
direction. Yeah, green kind of made them all move into a different direction.
And black is abnormal.
Yeah. And then the sound grenade.
Noise grenade. That's cool.
So Levi had to know that he needed to sound that off at some point.
Did it do anything to her?
It didn't seem to.
It really didn't seem to, right?
Maybe that was like the abnormals now chasing us kind of. Female Titan is spotted and is now chasing us.
Or
signal?
You wouldn't be able to really... I think it'd be more difficult to determine where a actual smoke signal is coming from if you're surrounded by tall-ass trees. So the most effective signal for, like, distance away to the trap, right? To the ambush would be that of sound.
So would that kind of give a location of path for them to pick where to set up the trap?
I think it's already been set up.
That's what I was thinking.
They're on a road right now.
So what's the point of setting off the thing? Like, we're coming? Get
ready. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sure, like, at least a broad sense of, like, how far away are we, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, like, did they pass a certain area when he fired it? Or was it, like... It could have been, like, we just passed this area with fences. We could have, you know, like... It could have been a certain place that they were like, fire it when you get to this area.
Yeah. Part of it seems like it was just odd that it happened right when all of them were getting overly kind of panicked.
Yeah.
About tell us what to do.
You're right.
So in a way, I feel like it not only like helped quell their kind of panic back to focusing on the mission and or listening to orders. It probably also gave them like the slightest bit of like Levi, like we can trust Levi. He's doing things. He's thinking things through. We can keep following forward.
Mm-hmm. Do you think anything else happened during the training that we haven't seen?
Well, now I feel like we've seen what happened. I think we saw the emotional kind of trust that came from this that makes the scenes right now that we're getting with Levi's squad and Eren a lot more important, a lot better. Petra saying have faith, so much more meaningful now.
I agree with that. I feel like I have trust issues making predictions in this show because I feel like they're just going to tell me new information I don't have
right
before something happens.
I don't know, literally, why was I so silly to think that the only training they did was just like teaching Eren about formations of riding the horse together?
You're right.
Like, I don't know why I didn't think that there would be any more kind of relationship building, trust building.
We could have like been like, oh, what else happened during?
Oh,
like,
I'm so disappointed in myself.
Right. Man, that was a crazy scene to see like Aaron at the bottom of the well with like the blood everywhere.
Yeah.
His will is crazy. Last thing I really want to touch upon was Levi's words to Aaron and like what
amazing.
his motivation was, because I can't tell if he actually meant it, because I could see where he's coming from if he did, or if he was doing like a, reverse psychology. I can tell he's a real monster. It has nothing to do with the Titan power, just him as a person. No matter what cage you put him in, he will never submit to anyone. So it has to be his choice. I feel like it was like
do you think that was more, well, yeah, but it also kind of worked in a reverse psychology way.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it totally did. You said that during it, and I agree with you. It works in that capacity.
But it also could be very true.
Yeah.
Because, like, the Aaron flashback of I just want to slaughter the Titans was what Levi, was like, Yeah.
Well, eye glimmer happened then.
Right? Very interesting scene.
Mm-hmm.
Levi is so cool.
Between you and us's experience, basically your decision you'd make.
Yeah.
Compared to the one we would make.
Choose, believe in yourself.
It's so funny because like Levi's like, believe in yourself. You're a monster. It's a great conversation.
Believe in yourself, and what was the term? Choose for yourself whichever decision you'll regret least. Mm-hmm. I love that. Levi is definitely up there with my favorite characters. I love Petra, and I love Buckwald.
It's interesting to me that though Levi has been so outspoken about being like, Aaron, I will take you down, if you prove to not be able to control this. Levi's also the one that seems to trust him the most in terms of he doesn't think Aaron would like intentionally lie or turn into a Titan to like on purpose without permission. It seems like he has some type of like faith in Aaron.
Yeah.
It seems like he has faith that Aaron wants to do the right thing or wants to do what's best. And that he's a kid and might mess up or whatever, but he has good intentions. Yeah. It seems like, because Levi was just kind of like chilling, standing next to him, being like, everyone calm down. Like, this isn't reason for you to attack him now.
Part of me was thinking that was just because Levi was like, we cannot let Aaron die. We cannot let any of our own kill him. Keeping him alive is well worth any risk to our lives.
Isn't that what Hanji said?
Yeah. Yeah. Which is like very good perspective, man. Like, you're able to like think like that's the scariest thing in the world, right? You're right next to a person who can like be a Titan. And they're realizing that this glimmer of hope, right? It led to the first victory they've had in over a century. Like, it doesn't matter about us. If we die, we're dispensable. But Aaron, the first human who's able to turn into a Titan we've seen and have on our side, we're willing to go through any number of our own people to keep him alive. Crazy.
I have one last thing.
Okay.
One last thing.
Okay.
So I know that I said that if the female Titan is Annie, it wouldn't make sense that the female Titan was showing up before, obviously, they all chose their paths of what they were joining military-wise. But what if the female Titan had been showing up before Erwin and Levi decided to try to get Aaron on their side? What if they had inklings about the female Titan before Aaron turned into a Titan? And that's the reason why they tried to get Aaron on their side to use him.
Are you saying before they started training?
Yeah.
So, like, in between...
It's, like, wild.
So, like, before 850. Like, before we met Annie.
No, it wouldn't be before we met Annie.
So when are you thinking it would be?
Before Aaron turned into the Titan for the first time.
What age would we have time for Annie to have left, like, training camps for her to be able to do that?
I don't know. Well, that's what we were speculating. Like, she wouldn't have been able to leave until she joined the military police. But obviously, they knew about her this whole like, beforehand.
And I'm
feeding into the idea of what if she'd been showing up beforehand, but what if she had been showing up even before, and that was the catalyst for Erwin deciding to try to go to court and take like responsibility for Aaron.
I get what you're saying.
This is a wild.
No,
it doesn't actually like.
No, I think that that's very reasonable, and that's what I think. But the reason that I can't legitimately continue to think that is because that would require Annie to have snuck out of boot camp for 3 years or 4 years straight or something, right?
Well, it's not. They weren't in boot camp anymore. They had already graduated.
How much time was there between graduation and Aaron turning into a Titan? Because Aaron turned into a Titan when the Colossal Titan appeared.
They
right?
graduated a bit before, like not maybe even like maybe a week. I don't know. They were all on top of the wall when the Colossal showed up, and they were all like, "Oh, we already graduated. Which path are you gonna take?"
And
they were
Annie
all
was
talking
there.
about it. You know, like there could have been like a week between they were doing little jobs and setting things up. There could have been, oh, we're now trainees, but no big mission. There's still time for them to figure out.
And
which
there could
path
have been
they're gonna
time to
take.
pass that we did not see.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. It's
Yeah.
like maybe there was time after their graduation that Annie could have. It seemed like they cared more about looking at the equipment and the equipment not leaving instead of focusing on is everyone in there. Like we didn't ever see like is everyone in their bunks, lights out, like after they graduated their training. So what if they could just walk around the town?
The equipment thing was after.
I'm using that as an example of they were checking on equipment, but were they actually checking on the people being in bed every night, you know, after they graduated?
Yeah.
I'm using
if there
it
was
as
time
like
in between there.
I'm using it as maybe people could have left and they could have gone to do something else. Or they could have visited family, or they could have, you know?
How much time was there because there was literally zero time in between them graduating and them training, and then we saw them graduating. We saw them entering through graduation. Then we saw what's his name? The guy that we've known forever.
The guy that we've known forever.
Yeah, the guy who saved us.
Hans?
Yeah. Then we saw Hans, and Hans, like, acknowledging us. And I thought the very next scene was us on top of the wall.
It might have been, but that doesn't necessarily mean
Time
that there
didn't
wasn't...
pass?
Because it looked like they were doing jobs. Like, they had kind of... The trainees do these certain jobs.
Where'd you steal that meat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like there might have been a little bit of time period after the graduation that they were all kind of getting accustomed to being in the military, trying to figure out what path they were going to take, doing odd jobs, helping out.
It's definitely possible. Like, obviously, shown in the style of writing this episode, there are gaps of time, and that we find more information later on. Yeah. I agree with you. I was just also suggesting that what if it was before Annie even went into training? That she was also still a Titan.
Then there would have been probably, because that was the only time they would have had to be in their bunks kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would have checked in on them then, because it's a military boot camp.
We don't
setting.
know. Is there an age that you have to be to go into this?
I'm sure there was an age you had to be to go in, but probably not an age like limit.
Like, do you think Aaron and Annie are the same age?
No clue. I'm sure there's like a beginning age.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, like, because why would you stop a willing person from joining the military? Like, what if someone didn't join right away when they were a kid, but then something happens, they see a Titan or something when they're like 25 and they decide to go to boot camp or training? I don't think they would. Unfortunately, with thinking about people as pawns and people that you can just kind of use, you wouldn't want to not accept someone who is willing to sacrifice their life to join.
If it's Annie, does that mean, are you thinking, what's more likely if it's Annie? That Aaron's dad injected Annie, or there was another third-party reason that she is also a Titan? Because Aaron's dad was gone for a long time after we saw the Aaron and his dad scene.
Well, we know that Aaron's dad would often go away beforehand, even. And then obviously there was a long period of time that his dad was away and not seen after even Aaron was injected. So it could have been that situation, or there could be some underground researcher group, doctor group that the father's a part of.
Yeah.
And maybe this isn't just his discovery and it's a broader group's discovery.
True.
So it could be that Annie, if it is Annie, that she was turned into a Titan or injected with whatever by someone else, but with the same resource that
Aaron's dad.
Aaron was injected with.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's okay that you don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if we have female Titan unlock, but
I'm too what's the word? Nervous by the show, too on edge with thinking that I can feel safe or hopeful that we have it. We got it in the bag, where we got this female Titan, we're gonna cut her open, see who's in there. I'm like, yeah, it looks really promising right now, but I'm like, there's so much we don't understand about these abnormal Titans or Titans that have people inside them that I feel like we don't know enough to have been able to fully, possibly 100% captured her.
do you think there's a time limit to like how long you could become a Titan?
Ooh, I like that idea. I like the time limit idea. We haven't seen it, really. I mean, Aaron's our only like
Time limit or stamina bar or something?
I guess
don't know.
stamina bar would make a little more sense. And
Well,
the stamina
they could
bar
be
would,
synonymous in like a way,
yeah, the stamina bar could depend on, how you were feeling before you went into it.
Do you think, okay, last question, I promise. Do you think if this is Annie, or who, we know it's a person, right?
We know it's a person.
Do they
at
have the
this point.
same means, like they have to activate the same, or they require the same prerequisites to become a Titan, the self-inflicted injury and a clear goal? I would imagine, right?
If they're the same situation that Aaron is, I feel like yes, it would have to be either Aaron doesn't know what the true trigger is, or maybe there's multiple things that could trigger it, or it has to be those two things in tandem, like,
There could be three things.
There could be three things, exactly. So yeah, I have no clue. Yeah.
Anything
But like,
else?
isn't that just the situation here? We have no actual clue.
That's what makes it fun, though. That's
Yeah.
like the reason that I'm enjoying the show so much, is the fact that it's just like an open world that we know nothing about. I'm so interested in.
How are you gonna feel if it's not Annie?
I've tried to like hammer down that I feel like it's Annie so hard that at this point, if it
Yeah.
isn't, it's gonna be like funny, but it's not gonna be funny, and I'm still gonna be an idiot.
I'm
It
probably
has to
gonna
be
be like,
Annie.
like scream.
Her nose and this, like, she isn't in
It
the
has
Scouts.
to be Annie. It just makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Only by like physical appearance and not by like any real character. Like, it's not like it makes sense by like her character would do it or whatever. It's purely like on aesthetics,
And then
facial and plot. I
Yeah.
guess it by like coincidence of who's the only one
Exactly.
not here. Yeah.
But we might figure out if it is Annie
Like a
next
murder
episode.
mystery, and it's like, who wasn't in the room
Yeah.
when so and so got murdered with a candlestick?
We might figure out next episode if it is Annie.
I hope so.
Yeah, me too. Ready?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hope to see you next time.